So last night he was the keynote speaker,
Right.
and he
Got a standing ovation.
got a standing ovation. He had several good stories that he told that were uh, uh, anecdotal. Is that right?
I can never say that word.
I'm gonna cut this out.
Anecdotal? Anecdotal?
And he had okay,
Anecdotal.
I'm gonna start
Anecdotal.
over. He had several good stories that were anecdotal,
Anecdotal.
that were funny, and that also were very poignant.
Right.
And so he came down. He did the keynote speech, which was what, an hour and a half.
Oh, it didn't feel like that, but yeah, it was.
It was a
pretty
while.
long, yeah.
And then after that, he took the time to sit out in the lobby in the bar with, well, there must have been 15 of us, maybe.
At least 15. Basically, everybody that could comfortably fit
around
kind
him.
of sort of hear what was going on with the conversation.
And he continued to talk to us.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it wasn't something that he had to do. He wasn't getting paid by anybody to do that. He stood up, he sat out there, he drank some drinks with us, and we asked him questions. It was more like a conversation that he was having with just somebody that he's known for years, and giving us, you know, what he has done, thoughts on, you know, other people, ideas.
It's a lot like we'd like for our show to be is conversations among friends wherever
Right.
you're at.
Absolutely.
He told a story in part of his keynote about, he told a story and then it was hilarious and well delivered and everybody was just amazed. And then he said, well, then he went through the process, he tracked it back to who wrote that story. It's one of those kind of, and he said the farthest he could track it back was some guy in the 30s, but he's not sure if that person wrote it. And the point was, wouldn't it be awesome to be making people laugh 80 years later? So that's what storytelling's about, you know, really.
And what did he say about you're not going to know? You can make the bestseller list, and you can sell 1 million books.
Right.
But the next week you might be off that list, and nobody's going to know your name.
They're going to be on to the next bestseller.
And he said
Unless you make a connection with your readers,
right,
because you're writing quality stuff and it's honest and it you know.
and that's
there's
really
some
what
kind
it's
of
about,
entertainment
is the
value or
readers.
information. Yeah.
It's the readers that you're the live, even if you're not trying to affect their life, if you're just trying to entertain them, if they're not entertained, then they're going to go someplace else.
You have to leave some resonance or something, like when the book you recommended to me, the Richard Fox, The Ember War, which we're doing a review on that.
Yeah,
talking to
this
him.
month. Yep.
I'm really excited about that. It was a great book, and it left a lot of resonance with me, and I just would think about the book afterwards.
Right.
And that's awesome.
Have you read the second one yet?
I haven't started the second
I
one.
finished the second one,
I
and
hope it's good.
it's very, you know, like I said, it's not earth shattering. It's not like a themed book where you're
Right.
like, oh, okay, that theme really comes out and strikes a chord with me. But it's entertaining. It's
Right.
well written, and he wrote what he knows. He wrote what he knew and
Yeah.
knows.
Well, and that's the thing is some people will argue that you have to have a theme before you can even start writing, and every book I've read where I could detect what the theme was supposed to be, I found extremely boring and annoying and preachy. And so
Yeah.
they talked about that a little bit in one of the things last night. I think it might have been the keynote thing too, or somebody said yesterday that if you can explain your theme really clearly, then that's probably not always a good thing, depending
Right.
on what you're trying to do. You know, if I'm writing for a sociology class and I'm teaching a class on you know, civic virtue or something, that's probably great.
Right.
If I'm trying to you know, give you a transformative experience through fiction where you're taken to a new place and you know, and you engage with, you know, the world and through emotions and stuff, then I don't want people. I'm old enough. I know what my political beliefs are. I know what my social beliefs are, and I'm not going to read somebody that's just going to pat me on the back for what my beliefs are, or try to change my mind.
Right.
If that's the main reason.
Well,
for
unless
doing it,
unless
that's
you
annoying.
know that you're starting out the book
Right.
like that.
If I'm looking for that, but-
If you buy a book for whatever, politics, then that's what you're buying into. If you're buying a book for entertainment value to read as a fiction book to escape, I don't want to be preached at.
and be entertained.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So motivation, I think, is
Yeah.
the key that I was trying to get at. Motivation, and that everyone helps each other.
Right.
or is enthusiastic about each other and their riding. That's what I like about it.
So to bring it back to, and also we've had a technological improvement. It's getting a little loud in here, but I'm now sitting on the back of a chair rather than doing like,
Well, my arm almost fell asleep that first part.
Yeah, I know. My legs are burning from because we want the show must go on, and if I got to hold a low horse stance for like 5 minutes, I guess that's what we need to do. But anyway, this is I'll do it. Dang it, I'll do it again. I lost my train of thought. Oh, back to show what's useful and things with bringing it back to, we're talking about going to a riding conference, in this case specifically OWFI. So one of the things we haven't talked about is that just being around riders is validating. That you're not the only crazy person out there writing stories.
I'm not crazy.
I'm not crazy. Well, I probably am pretty crazy, but
I'm not crazy, Scott.
Yeah, you don't look crazy at all right now. You see me
Do I look crazy?
move off the screen.
I'm not crazy.
Crazy riders. Although, speaking of crazy, we had
There are
some loud
different
riders.
levels.
We had some crazy loud riders at the dinner last night. It was almost too much. We were like, because at the OWFI they play a slideshow in the background while you're eating, and then they do like they call it a famous author award. And then whenever somebody's book comes up on the screen, then our table would yell and cheer. And
it wasn't
we were
even
loud.
It was like
We were loud.
the more appropriate thing to be would have been like, "Yay, good job, you wrote a book."
Wow, an author.
And-
author.
Like a golf clap.
Like
a golf clap.
Author, yeah.
Our table, it was like at a baseball game,
Yeah.
and somebody had just scored a home
It
run,
was interesting.
and the entire stadium stood up and laughed or cheered.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, there was a couple people on the table next to us that were covering their ears
Yeah.
because it was so loud.
There's a point where I started feeling like a jerk, but we did it.
But-
We had fun. Everybody was exciting, and it was nice to mix it up. But
Yeah.
So riders, we're talking about crazy riders, but my point, I guess, is, and maybe we spent too much time on that, is that riders can get loud.